Bohemian San Francisco, The Elegant Art of Dining by Clarence Edwards, Section 18. A good Bohemian dinner. Sometimes people desire to give a dinner and are at a loss as to the proper time to serve wines. The following menu will give some idea on the subject. Menu: Gibson cocktail, canopy Norwegian. Serve these before entering dining room. Artichoke hearts in oil, ripe olives, celery, Amontillado sherry, oysters on half shell, bisque of écrevisse, Chablis or white sauterne, Sandab's Edward VII, sliced cucumbers, iced, escargot français, Chateau Lafite, cassoulet of terrapin, Maryland, Romanée, tagliarini des Beaux-Arts, punch pistache, cigarettes, alligator pears with kumquats, French dressing, chicken portola, Krug Private Cuvée Brut, creamed new potatoes, celery Victor, French peas, zabaione, Reina Cabot, coffee royale, cigarettes, Grand Marnier. In our travels through Bohemia, it has been our good fortune to gather hundreds of recipes of new, strange, and rare dishes prepared by those who look farther than the stoking of the physical system in the preparation of foods. Some of these are from chefs in restaurants and hotels, some from men and women of the foreign colonies, and some from good friends who lent their aid in our pleasurable occupation. That we cannot print them all in a volume of this size is our regret, but another book now in preparation will contain them, together with other talks about San Francisco's foreign quarters. From our store, we have selected the following as being well worth trying. Onion soup. Cut 4 large onions in large pieces and put them in 6 ounces of butter with pepper and salt. Slowly stew this in a little beef stock and a little milk, stirring constantly, for 1 hour. Add more stock and milk and let cook slowly for another hour. In a tureen, place slices of bread sprinkled with 2 tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. Beat the yolks of 4 eggs and mix them with a tablespoonful of the soup and pour this over the bread and cheese. Cover this for 5 minutes and then pour over it the rest of the soup. Creole gumbo soup. Take 2 young chickens cut in pieces, roll in flour, and fry to light brown. Take the fried chicken, a ham bone stripped of meat for flavor, a tablespoonful of chopped thyme, of rosemary, 2 bay leaves, a sprig of tarragon, and boil in 4 quarts of water until the meat loosens from the bones. Then slice and fry brown 2 large onions and add 2 heaping quarts of sliced okra and 1 cut-up pod of red pepper. Stir all over the fire until the okra is thoroughly wilted. Then remove the larger bones and let cook 3/4 of an hour before serving. Half an hour before serving, add a can of tomatoes or an equal quantity of fresh ones and a pint of shrimps, boiled and shredded. Have a dish of well-boiled and dry rice and serve with 2 or 3 tablespoons in each soup plate. Oyster salad. To a solid pint of oysters, use a dressing made as follows. Beat well 2 eggs and add to them half a gill each of cream and vinegar, half teaspoonful mustard, celery seeds, salt each, 1/10 teaspoon cayenne, and a tablespoonful of butter. Put all in a double boiler and cook until it is as thick as soft custard, about 6 minutes, stirring constantly. Take from the fire. Heat the oysters in their own liquor to a boiling point, then drain and add the dressing. Mixing lightly, set away in cold place until needed. Italian salad. Soak 2 salt herrings in milk overnight and then remove the bones and skin and cut up in small pieces. Cut in small pieces 1 1/2 pounds each of cold roast veal and cold boiled tongue, and add to these and the herrings 6 boiled potatoes, half a dozen small cucumber pickles, and 2 small boiled beets, all cut up, and 2 raw apples, 3 boiled carrots, and 1 large boiled celery root, all minced. Mix all the above in salad bowl and pour over it mayonnaise dressing. Garnish the tops with hard-boiled eggs sliced and capers and ripe olives from which the stones have been removed. Garnish the bowl with parsley and in the center put hard-boiled eggs stuffed with capers. Solari's crab louis. Take meat of crab in large pieces and dress with the following: 1/3 mayonnaise, 2/3 chili sauce, small quantity chopped English chow chow, a little Worcestershire sauce and minced tarragon, shallots, and sweet parsley. Season with salt and pepper and keep on ice. Soles with wine. Take fillet of sole and pound lightly with blade of knife, then soak them 2 hours in beaten eggs seasoned with salt and pepper. When ready to cook, roll them in breadcrumbs and fry in olive oil. Take a little of that oil and put in another pan with a tablespoonful of butter and season with salt and pepper, and again cook fish in this, adding half a glass of dry white wine. Sprinkle with chopped parsley and let cook 5 minutes. Sprinkle with Parmesan cheese and put slices of lemon around it. Serve on hot plates. Grilled mushrooms. Skin and remove stalks from large fresh mushrooms and lay on a dish with a little fine olive oil, pepper, salt, and over them for 1 hour. Broil on a gridiron over a clear, sharp fire and serve them with the following sauce. Mushroom sauce. Mince the stalks or any spare pieces of mushrooms fine. Put in a stewpan with a little broth, some chopped parsley, young onions, butter, and the juice of a lemon, or instead of the latter, the yolk of an egg beaten up in cream. Beat all together and pour around the mushrooms. Italian turta. Cut very fine the tender part of 1 dozen artichokes. Take 1 loaf of stale breadcrumbs, moisten and squeeze, and add 3 tablespoonsful of grated cheese, 3 cloves of garlic, bruised, 1 onion chopped fine, several sprigs of parsley chopped fine, a little celery, and half a cup of olive oil. Mix all together thoroughly with plenty of pepper and salt and make into a loaf. Bake slowly 45 minutes. Œufs au soleil. Poach 8 fresh eggs and then take them out and place in cold water until cool. Lay them for a quarter of an hour to marinate in a glass of white wine with sweet herbs. Dry on a cloth and dip in a batter of flour mixed with equal quantities of ale and water to the consistency of double cream. Fry to light brown. Eggs with wine. Put 3 cupfuls of red wine into a casserole and add 3 tablespoonfuls of sugar, rind of a half of lemon, raisins, and sweet almonds blanched and chopped. When the wine boils, break the eggs into it as in poaching eggs. Let them cook well and then put in a serving dish. Add 1 tablespoonful of flour to the wine and cook to a cream, then pour over the eggs. Italian risotto. Soak 2 level teacups of rice. Mash 2 cloves of garlic and mix with a little minced parsley. Soak a dozen dried mushrooms in a little water until soft, then chop fine and drain. Cover the bottom of a saucepan with olive oil. Place over the fire until quite hot. Then put in the garlic, parsley, and mushrooms and a half a can of tomatoes and cook half an hour. Drain the rice and put in a saucepan, adding a little broth, half a cup at a time to keep from burning. and add, stirring constantly, the other ingredients, cooking all together until the rice is done. Salt to taste, sprinkle with Parmesan cheese. Scallops of sweetbread. Parboil the sweetbreads and then glaze in reduce allemande sauce. Dip in breadcrumbs and fry in butter until a light brown. When done, dish in close order and fill center with Toulouse ragout as follows. Toulouse ragout. Prepare a half a dozen fine, large coxcombs, 2 dozen button mushrooms, small pieces of sweetbreads, and a proportionate quantity of truffles. Place all in a stewpan and add a small ladleful of drawn butter sauce and the juice of a lemon. Cook a few minutes. Lamb chops marinade. Soak kidney lamb chops in the following mixture for 12 hours and then broil. 4 tablespoonfuls olive oil, 1 tablespoonful tarragon vinegar, 1 small sliced onion, 1 mashed clove of garlic, 1 broken up bay leaf, 12 whole black peppers, 6 cloves, 1 saltspoon of salt, 2 teaspoonsful of dried thyme, strips of parsley, and lemon peel. Spanish chicken pie. Cut up a chicken and boil until tender. Cut up and fry in chicken fat 2 onions, 2 green peppers, stirring in 1½ tablespoonful of flour. Have ready 5 tomatoes stewed and put in 2 dozen ripe olives with a small clove of garlic mashed. Grate 7 large ears of corn, season with salt, and put in a layer in a greased baking pan, then chicken, then the other ingredients with a little of the gravy. Stir all together and bake until brown. Chicken jambalaya. Cut a young chicken into small pieces and stew until tender, having the meat covered with the broth when done. Remove the meat, drain and fry to light brown with 2 slices of onion. Put in the chicken, onion, and 100 California oysters back into the broth and season with salt, pepper, juice of a lemon, bruised clove of garlic, chopped green pepper, and a pinch of red pepper. Let all come to a boil. Wash and dry 2 cups of rice and put into the soup and cook until thoroughly done and moderately dry, 25 minutes. Serve hot or cold. Cuajatale on mole. This is Mexican turkey in red pepper, a favorite banquet dish. Cut a young turkey into small pieces and boil with shallots and salt. Take ½ pound of red peppers, scalded and seeded, and grind fine with black peppers, celery seed, cloves, allspice, and mustard, about ½ teaspoon of each, and add to this some of the broth in which the turkey was cooked. Put a pound of lard in a skillet, and when boiling, put in the mixture with the turkey and let cook 10 minutes, sending it to the table hot. Delmonico raisin sauce. Brown butter in a skillet and stir in a teaspoonful of flour, forming a smooth paste. Add 1 cup of hot soup stock, stirring constantly. While boiling, put into this a handful of raisins, handful of blanched almonds pounded, half a lemon sliced thin, a few cloves, a pinch of cinnamon, and a little horseradish. Fine for roast beef. Poulet à la Napoli. Cut and trim a chicken as for fricassee. Take the wings, drumsticks, thighs, and 2 pieces of the breast and steep them in cold water ½ an hour. Drain and wipe dry and dust over with flour and set aside. Take the rest of the chicken with the giblets and chop small. With water, let this simmer for 2 hours, making a strong broth with a little veal, 2 ounces or more. Slice an onion into rings, which place in the bottom of a stewpan with an ounce of butter. To this add the meat and giblets and a pint of white broth. Let all simmer but not boil or let color. Over this pour common broth until covered and bring slowly to boiling point. Add a small bouquet of herbs and simmer for an hour, then strain. Thicken a little and then simmer in this the stalks and peelings of a quarter of a pound of mushrooms and the chicken that was previously prepared and dusted with flour. When done, strain them and drain the chicken. Strain the sauce and thicken with flour until it is the consistency of a rather thin batter. Dip the pieces of chicken into the batter until well coated and set aside until it is cold. Then dip the chicken into well-beaten eggs and cover with breadcrumbs. Let set and then repeat. In hot olive oil, fry the chicken until a golden brown. Serve on a napkin and garnish with parsley and potatoes duchesse. Cook the peeled mushrooms in the remaining sauce before the last thickening and serve in gravy boat to pour over the chicken. Zabaione. Beat together hard for 6 minutes 6 eggs and 4 teaspoonsful of powdered sugar in a double boiler and place over a gentle fire, never ceasing to whip until the contents become stiff enough to sustain a coffee spoon upright in the middle. While whipping, add 3 wineglassfuls of marsala and 1 liqueur glass of maraschino brandy. Pour into tall glasses or cups and serve either hot or cold. Peaches a la princesse. Have 6 fine peaches, not too ripe, and place in saucepan with concave side up. Take 1 peach, peeled, and mince with a dozen macaroons, adding the yolk of an egg and half an ounce of sugar. Mix all well together, and with this fill the half peaches. Moisten all with half a cup of white wine and sprinkle with sugar. Bake in a hot oven 10 minutes and pour over zabaione and serve. This will make a most delicious dessert dish. Sultana roll. Add the beaten yolks of 7 eggs to 1 pint of boiling milk, 1 cup of sugar, 1/2 teaspoonful of vanilla, 1/4 teaspoonful of almond extract. When thick, add 2½ cups of thick cream. Cool and freeze. Line the bottom of a mold with sultana raisins which have been soaked in sherry wine 24 hours. Put a layer of frozen cream, then raisins, continuing until all is used. Pack in ice and salt 2 hours and serve with caramel sauce. Caramel sauce. Butter the inside of a saucepan. Put in 2 ounces of unsweetened chocolate and melt over hot water. Add 2 cups of light brown sugar and mix well. Add 1 ounce of butter and half a cup of rich milk. Cook until mixture forms a soft ball when tested in cold water. Flavor with vanilla and pour, while hot, over each surface of the roll. It immediately hardens, forming a delicious caramel covering to the ice cream. Welsh rarebit. Take 1 pound of mild American cheese and put in saucepan. Add 5 wineglassfuls of old ale. Place over the fire and stir until it is thoroughly blended and melted. Pour this over slices of delicately browned toast, serving hot. Coffee royal. Take of the best mocha coffee 1 part. Of the best Java coffee 2 parts. Put 6 tablespoonsful of the mixture into a bowl and add an egg well beaten. Stir the mixture 5 minutes. Add half a cup of cold water, cover tightly, and let stand several hours. Put into a coffee pot the coffee mixture and add 4 large cups of boiling water, stirring constantly. Let it boil briskly for 5 minutes. Only then set on the back of the stove 5 minutes. Before serving, add a small tablespoonful of pure French brandy to each cup. Sweeten to taste. Reina Cabot. Mix at table and serve on hot toasted Bent's biscuit. Take a quarter of a pound of ripe, dark Roquefort cheese and rub with a piece of butter the size of a walnut until smooth, adding a teaspoonful of Worcestershire sauce and a wineglassful of sherry with a pinch of paprika, rubbing until it is smooth. This is best mixed in shallow bowl or soup plate. Virginia eggnog. Beat separately the yolks and whites of 10 eggs, the yolks to a soft cream. To the beaten yolks add 1 pound of granulated sugar, beating until fully blended and very light. Let 1 quart of fresh milk come to a boil and pour over the yolk of egg and sugar, stirring constantly until well blended. To this add 1 gill of French brandy or 1/2 pint of good whiskey. On top of this place the beaten white of egg and grated nutmeg. Serve either hot or cold. Mint julep. Bruise several sprigs of mint in a mixing glass with pulverized sugar. Fill the glass with ice and pour over it a jigger of whiskey. Let stand for 10 minutes and then put in a dash of Jamaica rum. Dress with sprigs of mint and sprinkle with powdered sugar. Serve with straws. Index. Bills of fare. Beefsteak Spanish, celery Victor, chicken country style, in the shell, jambalaya, leon d'oro, alla Napoli, pie, Spanish, portola, chili rellenos, clam fritters, chowder, coffee royal, crab louis, stew, dessert, Italian, eggnog, Virginia, eggs, Spanish, with wine, de soleil, fish, soles with wine, sole Edward VII, sandab fillet, cold. Frito misto, lobster a la Newburgh, lamb chops marinade, mussels mariniere, mushrooms grilled, mint julep, menu, model. Oysters a la Catalan, a la Poulette, omelette, peaches a la Princesse, planked filet mignon, polenti, cuajatole en mole. Rice, Spanish, Milanese, Italian. Reina Cabot, salad, Italian, Palace grill, oyster. Sauerbraten, sauce, Delmonico raisin, caramel, mushroom. Scrapple, shrimp creole, Antoine, snails bordelaise. Soup, bisque of crawfish, creole gumbo, onion. Sultana roll, sweetbreads scalloped. Torta, Italian. Toulouse ragout, tamales, tagliarini des beaux-arts, terrapin a la Maryland, wines, how to serve, Welsh rarebit, zabaione. Restaurants, Blanco's, Bonini's Barn, Buon Gusto, Castilian, Coppa's, Fashion Charlie's, Felix, Fior d'Italia, Flytrap, Frank's, Fred Solari's, Gianduja, Hang Farlow, Heidelberg Inn, Hofbrau, Hotel St. Francis, Jack's, Jules, La Madrelina, Leon d'Oro, Luna's, Mint, Negroes, Odeon, Palace Hotel, Poodle Dog, Berger Frank's, Portola Louvre, Rathskeller, Shellfish Grotto, Solari's, Tate's, Tescho's, Vesuvius, Old Time Restaurants, Bab's, Baldwin Hotel, Bezuro's, Berger, California House, Call, Captain Cropper, Campy's, Christian Good, Cliff House, Cobweb Palace, Delmonico, El Dorado House, Frank's, Goby's, Goodfellows Grotto, Hoffman House, Iron House, Johnson's Oyster House, Jack's, Louvre, Matanta, Manning's, Marchand's Marshall's Chop House, Martin's, Maison Dorée, Nevada, New York, Old Louvre, Perini's, Pierre, Poodle Dog, Pup, Peter Job, Palace of Art, Pop Floyd, Reception, Sanguinetti's, Tahama House, Three Trees, Tortoni, Thompson's, Viticultural, and Zincan's. Bohemian San Francisco, The Elegant Art of Dining by Clarence Edwards.